Okay, so as a follow-up to my video from 3 weeks ago almost, this is going to be my top 10 foods just overall. I might do like a community one and a beta one later on, but that's down the road. This will also have the winner of my giveaway in it, which will be towards the end, so skip ahead if you just want to get to that. And just full disclaimer, I have not tried every single food on the market. This is just from my collection of food, so because all fish are different, my fish might like it, your fish might not, so just take everything I say with a grain of salt, and if you want to try something, get the small version. Give it a sample test first. So I hope you enjoy the video. Okay, coming in at number 10 for my top 10 fish foods is going to be the Aquarium Co-op Easy Fry and Small Fish Food. Now, this is coming in lower on the list just because I think I've got a couple picky fish that really weren't pecking at it. Before I got these betas, everyone was eating this, but this is a nice little, it's like a powder. It's a really fine looking powder. Comes in this nice condiment container, easy to dispense. You just take this little thing off and it'll come out where you can squeeze it. Nice and convenient. It's good for my fry. My guppy fry have taken it and they loved it. And like I said, other things will eat it. I'll squirt it in my Rasbora tank. I've used it in the sorority before. I've used it in both my community tanks. Most of the fish like to come up and peck at it, and it's just an overall nice little easy food. Let's see. Let's look at the ingredients. Let's see what's upside down. Let's see. It's got salmon fish meal, dried yeast, marine protein, spirulina, kelp, veggie products, fish oil, lectin, calcium phosphate, vitamin supplements, and then some other stuffs. It's 55% crude protein, 18% crude fat, 2% crude fiber, and then 1.3% phosphorus. So yeah, it's just a nice little food, and it's number 10. Alright, coming in at number 9 is going to be the Hikari Algae Wafer. Now, I have multiple algae wafers that I use. Well, this one seems to be the best. So, this one, I've almost used all of them up. I think I have like 5 or 6 left in this bag. As you can see, it's pretty empty in there. Let's see, I got 5. I have 5 of these left, and it's just this little disc. Everything I've given this to, from shrimp to plecos, even the guppies and mollies will eat this. So it's a nice food. Let's see. It has way too many ingredients to read, so I'm just going to give you the crude protein. It's 33% crude protein, 4% crude fat, 3% crude fiber, 10% moisture, 17 ash, 0.8 phosphorus, and then the vitamin A is 8,700 IU per kilogram. Vitamin D3 is 1300 IU, and vitamin E is 1700, and then absorbic acid is 190. So yeah, this is just a nice little algae wafer that, again, most of my fish have eaten. So this is why it made the list over other ones. Coming in at number 8 for my top 10s is the Hikari freeze-dried brine shrimp. You're going to notice quite a few Hikari products on this list. It comes in a nice little plastic thing. They are cubes of food. Cube looks like this, kind of like some of the other freeze-dried ones. I usually take a little piece off and put it in. Now, don't be deceived by the bottom of these. The bottom is indented a little bit, so it will look like you have more in there than you actually do. This one's pretty simple for the ingredients. It's brine shrimp. There's a vitamin E supplement, vitamin B2, and a vitamin B12, along with, you know, the preservatives that they have to put in everything these days. Let's see. Its crude protein is 47%, crude fat is 5.5, crude fiber is 0.5, moisture is 6%, phosphorus 0.1, ascorbic acid is 60 milligrams per kilogram, I think that's what this is. Riboflavin is 20 milligrams, and then vitamin B12 is 2,000. Now this is like a treat. I only give this to fish maybe once every couple weeks as a little protein treat that they can get. And everything I've given this to has eaten it. I've given it to Tetras, Rasboras, betas, guppies, pretty much everything. I don't think I've given it to the shrimp just because that's kind of like, you know, shrimp cannibalism. But other than that, everything I've given it to has eaten it. Oh, haven't given it to African Mambunas yet, but that's mainly because they're veggie eaters anyway, so I don't plan to give it to them, but this is a good solid food. Alright, coming in at number 7 is the API bottom feeder pellets with shrimp. I mainly got these from my Cories, but I've given it to other stuff and they like it as well. Now these are small pellets. Let me get that in there. It's a little tiny pellet. I lost one. I like these because they're not super big, so I don't have to worry if something doesn't eat it right away. It's not going to be that much bio load that's getting dispersed in the tank. That's just a solid little bottom feeder food. Let's see, it's 36% crude protein, 7.8 crude fat, 5% fiber, 10% moisture. There's 554 IU per pound of vitamin E, and then there's 363 milligrams of ascorbic acid. It comes with shrimp, so it's got 2 fish meal, it's got whole wheat, shrimp meal, squid meal, pea protein, dried seaweed. I'm assuming things that taste pretty good to bottom feeders. But yeah, it's just a nice little food if you're looking for a bottom feeder food that you want to try out. That's something maybe you haven't used before. So yeah, I'd highly recommend this one as well. Coming in at number 6, we have the API Tropical Greens. Now this is a flake food, and it does say for algae and plant-eating fish. I would say you can give it to pretty much everything. Even my bettas eat it. So as you can see, it's just a little flake. It's kind of hard, but it's not that bad. I give this to primarily my guppies and mollies, maybe once every 3 or 4 days to give them a little fiber in their diet. I will also give it to fish if I've noticed them a little bloated. I will wait a couple days and then give them this because it's, I think, higher fiber than some of the other foods I have, just because it's mostly plant-based. So this one is 33% protein, 6% fat, 3.7% fiber, 7% moisture, 680 IUs per pound of vitamin E, and then it's 363 milligrams of ascorbic acid. This one has pea protein in it, it's got wheat starch in it, it's got beet pulp, brewed dried yeast, turmeric, cane molasses, things that are really high in fiber. It's got dried seaweed in it, so it's, again, that's why I give it to my fish, because it's got more of those fibery foods in it versus protein foods. That way I'm hoping it would clean them out a little bit, and it has worked on my betta fish. I had one that had a little blockage, and I gave her some of this, and in a couple days she was felt better. Alright, the next food that I have coming in at number 5 is the Hikari Micro Pellet. Now this apparently has a micro coating to lock in the nutrients. Now I got these mainly for my CPDs, and then when I got some cardinals and neon tetras, I wanted a smaller food for some of the more nano fish I have. These are really fine little pellets. Let me see if I can get you some here. They are super duper tiny. Like, they are micro, just like the bag says they are. Again, would definitely recommend these if you have smaller fish with not so huge mouths. You could pretty much give them to anything. I feed them to my bettas too every now and then. Let me get you some nutrition facts on this guy. So these have fish meal, krill meal, soybean oil, flaked corn, cuttlefish meal as their first few ingredients. It's 43% crude protein, 7% crude fat, 7% crude fiber, 10% moisture, 17% ash, 1.1% phosphorus, a minimum of 16,000 IUs of vitamin A, 2,400 of vitamin D, 960 of vitamin E. So again, these are just a good little food to feed anyone you have small little mouths with. Now for number 4, we're gonna have a tie because these are super similar foods. We have the Tetra Tropical Mint Flake, and then we have the Tetra Color Tropical Flake. Now, the only difference that I can tell in these guys is the Tetra Color has color enhancing in it, whereas the Tetra Flake or Tropical Flake does not. The crude protein in both of them is 46. The crude fat in the regular Tropical Flake is 11. It's 13 in the color. Crude fiber is 3 in the regular flake, 2 in the color, and then the Tropical Flake also has omega-3 fatty acids, whereas the color does not. So that's really the only difference. The ingredients look relatively the same too. For the first two, they both have fish meal and dried yeast. Then the Tetra Tropical Color has shrimp meal in it, whereas the other one, the next, is ground brown rice before it gets to shrimp meal. So the ingredients are relatively the same. I would recommend them both the same. I can't say I've noticed a distinct increase in the color of my fish, so either one of these you pick up. It's a staple food you can feed to pretty much everything you have. You can feed it to your community tanks, you can feed it to your species only tank. It's a staple flake food that pretty much everything will eat, in my opinion. before we move on to the top 3, I have a couple honorable mentions to make. The first one is the Shrimp King food. This one is specifically the protein food. It looks like a rabbit pellet. The main reason this is an honorable mention is because the price. These go for $17.50 for this little tiny bottle here. So that's why these are not on the actual list. Plus, mostly shrimp have eaten these. Because this is the protein one, it's 42.2% crude protein, 5.5% crude fat, 5.9 raw fiber, 19.8 crude ash, 8.1 moisture, 3.69 calcium, 1.73 sodium, 0.72 phosphorus, and 0.38 magnesium. This again is the protein version. There's a whole line of foods, so I will see if I can't get the whole line on the screen here so you can see the rest of them. I think I have one of the samples of the complete. It's just a different packaging on it. Nothing really too fancy about this one. This one just is a more complete diet. Not sure if they have the protein facts on here. They do not. So again, it's a good food if you just have shrimp tanks, but it can be a little pricey, which is why it is an honorable mention. The next honorable mentions are going to be lumped together. They are the Sarah tabs. Now, these are honorable mentions because they recently changed the formula. They switched to an all-natural version of their fish foods, and from what I've heard and seen, they decay faster and people's fish aren't eating them as much. Now, if you can find the older ones, they'd be perfect. They're these nice little tablets that stick to the side of your tank, and the fish just come up and nibble at them. It's great if you gotta get pictures taken. I have the regular one, which is the treat tab, and then I have this one, which is the spirulina tab, which is just more vegetable based. The protein facts for the regular treat tabs are 45.3% protein, 7.8 fat, 6.1 fiber, 6.6 moisture, and 12.9 ash. On the spirulina tablet, it is 48.2 protein, 8.1 fat, 5% fiber, 5.3 crude ash, and then 9.9 of something I can't read. It's also got vitamin A, vitamin E, D3, B1, B2, and C in it. The regular tablets also have vitamin A, D, E, B1, B3, and C in them as well. So again, if this was the old ones, I would say get them. Here's what the tablets look like when you get them in the cardboard box. If you can find the old tablet that doesn't have the packaging that says natural on it, I would say still get them. But other than that, buy it with your own risk. Get the small version, not the big version. Alright, coming in at number 3. Now the top 3 was, you could pretty much interchange them. It was just my personal preference on what I thought would be best for everyone overall. So coming in at number 3, we have the Hikari freeze-dried tube effects worms. You probably saw these in the last video. They are a block of literally compressed tube fix worms. I feed this to pretty much every tank. Guppies, bettas, rasboras. I've even put some in the Celestial Pearl Danio tank. These are the ingredients are just tube fix worms and then a vitamin E, C, B2, and B12 supplement. They are 60% crude protein, 6.5 fat, 0.3 fiber, 6% moisture, 0.1 phosphorus, and then I'm not going to read off the rest because I think it's just preservatives anyway. But it's a high protein food. If you're looking for something quick and easy, I recommend them highly, though I would suggest again rehydrating them a little bit, put them in some of the tank water and swish it around first, or just squish it to the side of your tank. So this again is a highly recommended from me, and I'll be using this as long as they put it out. Now, number 2 and number 1 were very close. The only reason that the bug bites did not make number 1 were because I felt that number 1 you could feed to a more wide range of fish, and it's slightly cheaper. Now, the bug bites, bottom feeder formula. I have the small to medium size, so they're smaller granules, but they're very tiny, almost as small as the micro pellets rather. So you can pretty much feed them to whatever you want. Again, these are primarily beta food for me, but I do feed them to rasboras, I'll give them to the CPDs, and I'll throw a handful in the community tank just so I can ensure they're getting a wider diet and the Cory cats get something. So these have the black soldier fly larva in them, which is what makes the bug bite brand or line of foods so sought after, I think, because that's a good protein food in there. So it's black fly larva, it's salmon, wheat, green peas, potatoes, and a few other things in there. It is 32% crude protein, it's 12% crude fiber, 6% moisture, 12% ash, 9% calcium, vitamin A, vitamin D, and vitamin E are also in there as well. And again, this comes in 2 sizes. It comes in this small size, and it also comes in a larger size. And again, it was a very, very close second to being first. Again, it was just based on what I think most people would use, that I picked this as the second instead of the first. So again, very highly well recommended food. Definitely say try it out if you haven't yet. Now, coming in at number 1 on my personal list of top 10 foods, I have the Hikari freeze-dried bloodworms. The reason this made it over the other ones is because I felt that it would suit more people, and it is slightly cheaper than the bug bites if you're on a budget. Now, I love these, and I had bloodworms before, and my fish didn't eat them. I've been feeding this now for, I'd say, since April maybe. They're just, regular freeze-dried bloodworms. So for some reason, these must be a higher quality than the ones I had before, because the ones I had before, my fish just weren't eating them. But these I'll give maybe once every 2 weeks. I give these to all my beta fish, and I'll throw some in the community tank, as well as the rasbora tank. So these are, again, a high protein food. They are 65% protein, 5% fat, 3.5 fiber, 6.5 moisture. They also have a vitamin E supplement. There's vitamin C, vitamin B, and vitamin B12 in there as well. Again, highly recommend all these foods, but if you have to pick, I would say go with the bloodworms, the tube fix, the bug bites, and the Tetra tropical flake, and it'll pretty much cover everything you probably have. If you're looking for staple food to keep, I would say those 4. And now for the moment everyone's been waiting for, to find out the winner of the giveaway that I had on my initial fish food video. So I put the video link into the comment picker. I got all the links, and we're going to go ahead and click the start button, I believe. Yes, the start button. And we will find out who the winner is. So let's go. Insert game show music here. Not really though. I don't have the rights for that. Too much money. And congratulations, HC Aqua. So you have won the giveaway. I will be sending out your prize. Hopefully it gets to you end of the week, beginning of next week. So yeah, congratulations. You will be winning some Fluval Bug Bites bottom feeder formula. So yeah, congratulations, and thank you all for entering. I'll probably do another one at some point down the road, so stay tuned for that. And thank you all very much for watching this video. Please, of course, remember to like, comment, subscribe, hit that lovely little bell notification. It's still cringy having to say that, so you get notified every time, and I will catch you in the next one. Thank you very much.